Alexa, play SendMe Radio.
Listen to awesome Christian content on SendMe Radio. Download from the App Store and listen on our website www.sendmeradio.net. Genesis 10, often referred to as the Table of Nations, provides an account of how the descendants of Noah repopulate the earth after the flood. Among them, Ham's lineage is particularly notable as it gave rise to some of the most historically significant civilizations, including those of Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. These nations played a major role in biblical history and the ancient world, contributing to the cultural, political, and economic landscape of their times. This article explores the descendants of Ham, their historical and archaeological significance, and their interactions with Israel and other nations. The modern names corresponding to the biblical regions of Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan are Cush, modern-day Sudan, and parts of southern Egypt. Historically, Cush or Kush referred to the ancient Nubian kingdom located along the Upper Nile, primarily in what is now Sudan. Some references also link it to Ethiopia, but the biblical Cush is more accurately associated with Nubia. Mizraim, modern Egypt. The Hebrew name Mizraim has always referred to Egypt. The dual form of the name possibly reflects the ancient division between Upper and Lower Egypt. Put, modern Libya and parts of northwest Africa. Put is traditionally identified with the region west of Egypt, corresponding to the ancient Libyan territories. Some scholars suggest it could extend to parts of Algeria and Tunisia. Canaan, modern Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and parts of Syria and Jordan. The biblical land of Canaan encompassed much of the Levant, including the territories of the ancient Canaanites, Phoenicians, and other tribes inhabiting the region before Israel's settlement. Cush, the firstborn son of Ham in Genesis 10 verse 6, is associated with the ancient kingdom located south of Egypt. In biblical references, Cush corresponds to Nubia or Ethiopia, not to be confused with modern Ethiopia, but rather the region along the Upper Nile, covering present-day Sudan and southern Egypt. The Cushites are mentioned frequently in the Hebrew Bible, signifying their prominence in ancient times. The kingdom of Cush was an advanced African civilization, flourishing from around 2500 BCE to 350 CE. Early Nubian cultures, such as the Kerma civilization 2500–1500 BCE, built large mud brick temples, royal tombs, and cities with sophisticated architecture. The later Napatan and Meroitic periods 1000 BCE–350 CE saw the rise of pyramidal structures, a distinct writing system, and powerful rulers such as Taharka, who reigned over both Cush and Egypt during the 25th dynasty, 700 BCE. Cush played a role in biblical history in various ways. Moses married a Cushite woman, Numbers 12:1, and King Tirhakah of Cush intervened against Assyria to help King Hezekiah of Judah, 2 Kings 19 verse 9. Additionally, a Cushite eunuch appears in the New Testament, reading Isaiah and being baptized by Philip, Acts 8 verses 26 and 39, showing a long tradition of contact with Israel. Excavations in Sudan have uncovered temples, pyramids, and artifacts attesting to the wealth and influence of the kingdom of Cush. Sites like Meroe, wealthy capital city and religious center in the ancient kingdom of Cush, located in present-day Sudan. It flourished from around 750 BCE to 350 CE and was one of the first African cities outside of Egypt. Along with Kema showcase Nubia's grandeur, and Egyptian records confirm their long-standing interaction, sometimes as allies, sometimes as rivals. Mizraim, the Hebrew name for Egypt, appears as a son of Ham, Genesis 10 verse 6. The dual form of the name may reflect Upper and Lower Egypt, which were historically unified into a single kingdom around 3100 BCE. The descendants of Mizraim, listed in Genesis 10 verses 13 and 14, include the Ludim, Anamim, Lehabim, Naphtuim, Pathrusim, Casluim, and Caphtorim, some of whom are linked to Egypt's neighboring regions. Egypt was among the world's most influential civilizations, famous for its pyramids, hieroglyphic writing, and centralized governance under pharaohs. By 2500 BCE, the Great Pyramids of Giza were constructed, reflecting Egypt's advancements in engineering and state power. Egyptian religion, medicine, and administrative systems shaped the ancient Near East. Egypt played a central role in Israel's story. Abraham visited Egypt, Joseph rose to power there, and the Israelites endured slavery before the Exodus. Later, Pharaoh Shishak plundered Jerusalem. 1 Kings 14 verses 25 and 26. Biblical prophets often warned Israel against relying on Egypt's military power instead of trusting in God. Egyptian texts such as the Merneptah Stele, 1207 BCE, provide the earliest known extra-biblical mention of Israel. The Amarna letters, 14th century BCE, also described Egypt's rule over Canaan, confirming the biblical picture of Egyptian influence in the region. Put, another son of Ham, Genesis 10 verse 6, is traditionally associated with the Libyans or North African peoples west of Egypt. The Bible mentions Put mainly in military contexts, linking them with Egypt and Cush. Ezekiel 30 verse 5, Jeremiah 46 verse 9, Nahum 3 verse 9. Ancient Libyans were a mix of Berber and other North African groups. Egyptian records mention the Libu and Meshwesh tribes, who often clashed with Egypt. By the first millennium BCE, some Libyans became rulers of Egypt's 22nd dynasty, including Pharaoh Shoshenkai, Shishak. Put is rarely mentioned directly in biblical history, but was known for providing mercenaries for Egypt and Tyre, Ezekiel 27 verse 10. Ancient inscriptions confirm the presence of Libyan rulers in Egypt, and archaeological evidence from Libya shows Berber civilization flourishing alongside Phoenician and Greek traders. Canaan, the youngest son of Ham, Genesis 10 verse 6, is the forefather of the Canaanites, whose land was later given to Israel. Genesis 10 verses 15 and 18 lists Canaan's descendants, including the Sidonians, Phoenicians, Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, and others. These groups inhabited the Levant, modern Israel, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. The Canaanites were skilled city builders, traders, and sailors. They developed the earliest alphabets, precursors to Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, and their religious practices, centered on Baal, Asherah, and Molech, frequently influenced and corrupted Israel. The Phoenicians, a branch of Canaanites, became world-renowned traders and founded Carthage, a powerful city in North Africa. The Canaanites were Israel's main adversaries during the conquest of the Promised Land. Later, the Phoenician king Hiram of Tyre allied with King Solomon to help build the temple in Jerusalem. However, Queen Jezebel, a Phoenician princess, introduced Baal worship to Israel, leading to conflict with Elijah. Excavations at Hazor, Megiddo, and Ugarit have uncovered Canaanite cities, religious texts, and artifacts. The Ugaritic tablets provide insight into Canaanite mythology, including Baal worship, which Israel struggled against. Genesis 10 verses 8 and 12 describes Nimrod, a descendant of Cush, as a mighty hunter before the Lord and the first ruler of a great kingdom. He founded Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Nineveh, laying the groundwork for the Mesopotamian empires. Scholars suggest Nimrod may represent Sargon of Akkad, circa 2330 BCE, who united Mesopotamia and established the Akkadian Empire. Some traditions also connect Nimrod with the Tower of Babel, symbolizing human defiance against God. The cities attributed to Nimrod, Uruk, Akkad, Nineveh, and Babylon, were real centers of power. Excavations have confirmed their prominence in the ancient world. The Epic of Gilgamesh, a Mesopotamian legend, describes a mighty hunter king, possibly reflecting Nimrod's historical counterpart. The descendants of Ham played a crucial role in shaping the ancient world. The nations that arose from Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan left lasting legacies in politics, trade, warfare, and culture. The Bible's Table of Nations in Genesis 10 presents a compelling account of humanity's post-flood expansion, confirmed in many ways by historical and archaeological evidence. While these civilizations often opposed Israel, they also served as instruments of God's judgment and fulfillment of prophecy. Their rise and fall remind us that history is ultimately under divine sovereignty.